What's up, everybody? It's your girl Phaedra, and you are listening to Phae's Place, the podcast. Peer pressure is definitely not a new concept. It slithers its sneaky self into our conversations. It's in our classrooms, on our jobs, in our churches, on our social media pages, and even in our families. It's quick. It's crafty. 1 minute you have everything under control, and then the next you have conformed to doing something you never intended on doing. How many of us find ourselves holding back on sharing what excites us out of fear of what other people would say? And how many of us trained ourselves to feel uncomfortable just so others won't feel discomfort? Y'all, that's peer pressure. We have been talked out of dreams, excitement, and even a healthy mentality because we get so fixated on being popular than being purposeful. Genesis chapter 3 verses 6 through 11 reads, "When the woman saw that the fruit of the tree was good for food and pleasing to the eye, and also desirable for gaining wisdom, she took some and ate it. She also gave some to her husband who was with her, and he ate it. Then the eyes of both of them were opened, and they realized they were naked. So they sewed fig leaves together and made coverings for themselves. Then the man and his wife heard the sound of the Lord God as he was walking in the garden in the cool of the day, and they hid from the Lord God among the trees in the garden. But the Lord God called to him and said, 'Where are you?' He answered, 'I heard you in the garden, and I was afraid because I was naked, so I hid.' And he said, 'Who told you you were naked? Have you eaten from the tree that I commanded you not to eat from?'" In the beginning of this story, the readers are introduced to the most craftiest animal in all the wild, the serpent. He has approached one of the main characters in the book of Genesis so far, which is Eve, and he tells her to eat from the tree that God explicitly commanded both her and Adam not to eat from. The serpent tempted Eve by getting her to doubt God's goodness. He made her forget all that God had given her and instead focus on what God had forbidden. The serpent used a sincere motive to tempt Eve. He said, "You will be like God." Now, it wasn't wrong for Eve to want to be like God. In fact, humanity's highest goal is to be just like Him. But the serpent misled Eve regarding the right way to accomplish this goal. People usually choose the wrong things because they have become convinced that those things are good. What we also see from this pericope is that one of the realities of sin is that its effects spread. After Eve sinned, she involved Adam in her wrongdoing. If you pay close attention to the sequence, you'll see that Eve saw, she took, she ate, and then she shared. Misery loves company, and hurt people hurt people. It's a domino effect. We fall into trouble like Eve when we dwell on what God forbids rather than on the countless blessings He gives us. When we pay close attention to what the world defines as success, we completely ignore the fact that God is the master standard creator. He defines the standard. He determines how our success looks. If we're not careful, we'll wind up believing lies and we'll get others to believe them as well. But I love how God replied to Adam. He said, "Who told you you were naked? Did you eat from the tree that I told you not to eat from?" In other words, God was saying, you are eating from a place I didn't give you. Now you are operating from a mindset that I didn't even place in you. These questions that God asked explained to Adam that his sense of shame arose only from his defiance of God's command. God hasn't given us a mindset of shame. He hasn't placed in us a limited mentality. We are not a defeated people. He has a future full of hope and prosperity prepared for us. We lack no good thing. Everything that belongs to God belongs to us because of the cross. How dare we believe the lies that we are not worthy when in fact Jesus thought we were to die for? We cannot always prevent temptation, but there is always a way of escape. So the next time they make you feel ashamed because of the shade of your skin or the texture of your hair, your preference in music or your taste in style, the way you project your voice and enunciate all of your syllables, your desires to go to church rather than to party, or your determination to make something out of yourself rather than to be another statistic. Remember, that is what makes you special and unique. That's your defining factor. God handpicked that feature out just for you, and there's no need to feel ashamed. The worst step you could take is to eliminate the guilty feelings without eliminating the cause. Feelings are important because they make you aware of your sin so you can ask God's forgiveness and then correct your wrongdoing. Going forth, create healthy boundaries for people who have negative impacts on your self-esteem, those who steal your joy, those who make you second-guess yourself, and those who take up residency in your mind for free. Today I ask you the same question. Who told you? Who told you that you weren't enough? That you weren't smart enough or pretty enough or capable enough? Who planted those seeds of doubt in your mind? It's time to fall in love with who God created you to be. So friends, what steps are you taking to uproot those seeds of doubt in your mind? How are you embracing your uniqueness? I would love to know. Let me know in the comments section. Thank you so much for stopping by Phae's Place. I love you all for listening.